We're good. Push that away. Okay. Hi. I assume that all of you can hear me. Oh, let me grab this mic a little closer so that it's like as close as I can get it without it showing in the frame. Okay. I think I'm good. All right. So, hi guys, I'm Elena and I'm enchanted to have you be here. Welcome to my kitchen where it's not a mess on this end. So the rest you don't really see. So on today's video, I'm going to be doing baked lemon pepper chicken with fried zucchini and couscous, and it's going to be delicious, and it's going to be hearty, and it's going to be yummy, and I'm super excited for this dinner. So I already have the oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I have been asked by a couple of my followers to be a little bit more specific with ingredients and the amount I put into them. So I'm going to do my best. I'm not really cooking by a recipe. I'm just kind of throwing things together and just cooking along that way. So I'm going to do my best to make it a little bit more, leave the chicken alone. No. This is Solstice. She is the thief from counters. Her favorite thing to steal is sticks of butter, and there's like one over there right now. You can see it right there. And she smells it. I don't know if it's the chicken or the butter. In any case. Hi. So let's get on to cooking. So I'm going to be using one very large chicken breast. And I'm going to start off with this first, get everything ready, stick it in the oven so then I can work on the rest of the stuff. Okay, I'm actually going to grab a different cutting board because that is chicken. All right, so I'm going to cut this up into like slices, like that. And it's already been defrosted and just ready for me to slice into it and cook it up. I saved like a little piece of the chicken. This has like so much fat on it and stuff. That goes right to the puppy. Issy, come here. Come here. Good girl. Sit. 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 You gotta sit. No. Sit. No. Sit. I don't have time for this. Sit. Come on. Good job. There you go. And I'm going to be using a baking tray right here. And using Pam Original. I'm not a big fan of this thing, but I still have it, and I'm going to use it up until it's gone, and then I'm just not going to get it. It's not that it's a bad, like, thing. It's just that, how do I put it? It's not super healthy. So I'm kind of not going to get any more as soon as that one's done. But I'm going to use it for now. So instead of that, I would use usually butter just to cover up the pan, or use olive oil or something along those similar lines. Okay, right now I'm just arranging everything in here. And keeping it all a little bit separated so that it doesn't like really stick to itself. There's that. Perfect. All right, so as I said, oven is already preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to be using a fresh lemon to kind of do like the zestiness over it. So let's do some of that. Now it's one like medium lemon, and I'm going to put in as much of the lemon zest as this lemon will give me. I'm also going to squeeze in the lemon juice afterwards, but it's a lot easier to get the zest onto it while the lemon is still full. So just zesting it on. I'm also going to be starting to put polls on my Instagram of what I should cook next, so that way you guys can kind of get a heads up of things that are going to be cooking, and if you guys can vote on it and things like that. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, which is the same exact username, Elena Enchanted. That would be pretty darn cool. And I'm going to put up the poll for what will be for dinner a couple days before I actually make dinner. So I try to do these videos every Sunday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Massachusetts. So I try to do those. But depending on homework, depending on work itself, depending on other things, sometimes I need to reschedule it to a different day, but I'll at least try to do it twice a week. All right, so that's pretty much the whole lemon. And I'm going to scrape all of these off and sprinkle it on. Oh, it smells so good. I wish I can share like this lemony zestiness of it. It smells delicious. Okay, into the sink. Oh no, I put it in the chicken thing. Oh well. That goes into the sink too. And I'm going to cut it in half. And use my handy dandy lemon squeezer thingy-mabobber to kind of squeeze some of this lemon juice over it. Boom. I think I'm just going to go with half of the lemon. I think that will be sufficient, and then I'll see how it goes when it sits in the oven. Squeeze. Use all your muscle. Now this will be my little trash pile. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this in case I need it when it's in the midst of its baking thing. So for lemon pepper chicken, you need the pepper, obviously. And I'm going to load it up. Lots and lots of pepper. Right, I'm also going to put in some salt. Now, since the pieces aren't too big, it'll be fairly quick to cook this. And this is kind of what it looks like now. I don't want it to slide all over the place. But that's kind of how it is. So I'm just going to cover it up with foil. Fairly loosely. It doesn't need to be like super tight. I'm not steaming it like crazy. And I'm just going to put it into the oven for 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and we're starting now.
All right, so that's done. Next, I'm going to set the water to boil, and I need my measuring cup. I have one here. So that way you have more accurate measurements. There's about 4 cups of water in here, and I'm going to set it to boil. Turn that on, and I'm going to cover it up just to speed it up. Oh, before I do that, I'm using this like chicken flavor bouillon stuff. So instead of like a bouillon cube, it's like a bouillon powder, and I'm going to add it right to the water. And I will add about, let me get my handy dandy measuring utensils. One tablespoon. Oh, I already have one in here. Oh well. 1 tablespoon. Kind of like that. Toss it in. So that will be instead of salt, and that will be majority of the seasoning for the couscous. Right, push that aside, letting that do its thing. Okay. On to the next stuff, onions. I'm going to use half of a red onion. It's very stiff red onion. What the heck? Oh my goodness, I just went right through the root of it, I think. That was a very tough onion to cut through. And I'm going to clean it off, leaving this little tail so it'll be a little bit easier to chop. Actually, no, I lied. I'm not mincing it. I'm just cutting into rings so I don't need to. So it's going to come off. Okay. And cutting it into like half moons like that. Fairly large, I would say. Well, not fairly large. Medium size half rings, so they look kind of like that. Kind of like this. There. Okay. You take that, plop it in here. And now onto some garlic. If you've seen a couple of my past videos, you know that I absolutely love garlic and probably put in more garlic than I should, but it's delicious. This time around, I'm not putting in too much. Oh boy. What is happening? Okay, just 3 like medium large cloves. Hi, do you want garlic? I don't think you like garlic. I don't understand why I'm kind of struggling today. Maybe because I have a bit of a headache. But the food's not cooperating. I am pretty excited that this is my 5th episode of doing like a cook with me thing. Yeah, this is my 5th episode. And a couple of you guys are watching it, and I'm really excited that you're joining me for my dinners. I like doing it live so that I could pretend that you're just, sitting in front of me and I'm making dinner for you and hanging out with a friend. That's kind of the point of it being live, I suppose. Hey, come on. Please cooperate. I should probably do this before the live video, but I don't really prep too much before I make my dinners, and I kind of want to make this as authentic as possible of me actually making dinners for us. So you get to watch me struggle as I normally would struggle if I were to be making dinner. The only difference between me cooking this dinner live and for some audience, and if I were to just be cooking this for myself, is that I put on makeup and put on pants. Otherwise, I would look like a hot mess with no pants on. And I don't think that would be a good thing to do live. Mainly the pants thing. All right, I'm going to check on the chicken. Hello, chicken. How you doing? All right, still doing good. I will give it a flip. So it's starting to cook a little bit. And I'm going to put half of these onions over it. kind of sprinkle them around so they get sort of like evenly dispersed. That type of thing. What are you sniffing at? Cover that up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Issy, go that way. It's hot. All right, putting it back in. Hey, Issy, no. And leave it in there for, say, 5 more minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
All right, on to this zucchini stuff. Ooh, need to finish this. So because zucchini cooks so quickly, I usually cook it last. I'm just getting everything ready for it. Using garlic acid. And I'm just going to chop this garlic high. Just give it a good smack and give it a rough chop. It smells so good. It's like a little bit of a chickeny smell. A little bit of a chickeny smell, garlicky, lemony. Oh, it smells really good. Wish you were here smelling it with me. As always, guys, you can request recipes for me to try or to cook or that type of thing, or you can send me even recipes that you want me to try. All right, I'm just going to put that right in there. Okay, while that's going, I'm gonna chop this up. I'm waiting for the water to boil. It is boiling. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the heat off and couscous. Where is the cup? I don't have cup. Come on. Why is there no half a cup? I got 1 cup, 3/4 cups, 2/3 of a cup, 1/4 cup. But this will work. This is 1/3 of a cup. And I was going to do just half a cup, but I think 2/3 will be sufficient. Okay. Leave that there. Give it a good mix. And let it sit there. All right, onto that zucchini. Cutting off the ends. Any unfavorable sides or pieces. A lot of the groceries that I get are from Imperfect Foods, and they're a little bit imperfect. So even though these are nice and fresh ingredients, they're not the most aesthetically pleasing. But they taste delicious, so it doesn't even matter. Excuse me. Okay, and I'm just going to half them and cut them into like little half moons or ringlets, however you want to call them. And I got something tickling my throat. Okay, I'm just going to toss it in there so it'll be ready for when I'm going to fry it. Don't judge my chopping skills. I am no professional at all, just a little young adult home cook. I like to add different colors of the zucchinis into the plate because it gives it like a prettier look. I suppose that's one way to call it. Okay. I'm forgetting to turn my alarm off. Oops, that was a little big. Oh well. It's not like I'm cooking for a fancy restaurant or anything. Just chopping things. Stop. That'll be my Google Home. It is my most favoritist thing in the world. Okay, I'm just gonna take a peek at the chicken. Still doing okay. Another 5 minutes. I tend to check it every 5 minutes just in case. Chicken gets overcooked fairly quickly. Okay, Google. Set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and we're starting now.
Okay, got that. And I'm gonna add some little tomatoes alongside with my zucchinis. Wow, I don't know what's going on with my voice today. I'm sorry. Just gonna have these, and they're gonna be fried alongside together, and it's gonna look pretty, and it's gonna be delicious. All of that. Okay, after this is done, I'm gonna mix the couscous. Things perfect. Gonna give this a nice stir. Doing pretty good. Okay. I will also be adding, what are these, sun-dried tomatoes into the couscous. I need a spoon. Don't mind me just leaning over and grabbing a spoon. For me to do these live videos, our counter gets shifted like 2 feet this way. That way the stove is like directly behind me and it kind of gives it a better frame. Otherwise, oh man, the first video I did that was not, whatchamacallit, not what the counter moved, was not like the best arrangement. And even so, my kitchen is not a very good arrangement to do live videos. It's totally not set up for it. But it's what I have, it's what I got to work with, and then I'm still here giving this a go. So sun-dried tomatoes, chopping them up a little bit finer. Okay, I completely forgot that these are in oil. I was gonna add some butter to the couscous, but because these already have oil added to them, I don't think I'm gonna be adding any more of the butter. So I would say this is about maybe 2 teaspoons. This seems like 2 teaspoons, yes? Oh. And I'm gonna mix it in again. Okay, just gonna continue letting it sit there and cook in all of that deliciousness. In the meantime, I'm going to chop up some of these. They're from my little herb garden. I'm really excited. If you've seen my video, the one that I posted, I think it was this Monday, it was a plant tour, or was it yesterday? I don't remember. It was like a plant tour and mini house tour. You get to see my little herb garden spot, which I'm pretty excited about. And that's where these little scallions, green onions, spring onions came from. So these will be mainly for garnish and mainly to add into the couscous. Okay, perfect. I already have a nice clean bowl right here. Just gonna toss that in. And next up is basil. Now I don't know the name of this basil. It is a very lemony basil, and again, it's from my garden. If you really need to know the name of it, I can look it up. Just shoot me a comment or message me on Instagram. I cannot tell you the name of this, not at all. But it's basil with like a very lemony essence, and I figured because I'm doing a very, lemon pepper inspired thing, it would be just perfect to add it in. Okay, bunch of leaves, bunch of leaves. These are going to be all chopped up, again, added to the couscous, and I'm going to sprinkle a couple over the chicken when it comes out in a few minutes to be checked on and like flipped over. Stop. I think I still have a couple of seconds for me to chop these. I'll get to those later. So just not in any particular fashion. I'm definitely doing this wrong, but they're very little leaves and rolling them up kind of take too much time, too much effort. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. So good. So good. It's like basil and lemon and just, smells amazing. All right, I'm going to take the chicken out and give it a better peek. Sounds good. One of my biggest fears is with ovens is that they kind of like hold the doors up and down themselves. So when I open it all the way, the door is held by whatever mechanisms in there. My biggest fear is that thing like slamming shut on me and it's hot. I'm scared of it. Chicken looks pretty good. I think this flip and it should be, yeah. One more flip, 5 more minutes, and it will be perfectly done. Okay. While that's here, I'm going to take some of this and sprinkle it over. Cover that up. And 5 more minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and that's starting now.
Okay, perfect. So just chop up a couple more of these leaves and add it to the couscous. These are fine and whole and dandy. Before I do that, I'm going to take my pan and set it to high. And I'm going to add some olive oil to it. Kind of like this much. 3 tablespoons about. I would say that's about 3 tablespoons, maybe 4. No, I would say this is about 3 tablespoons. Again, I don't normally measure stuff, I just pour. Chopping these guys up again. Okay, and I'm gonna toss it right into the couscous. Give it another mix. All right, that's bubbling. I'm going to add the garlic to it. Just give it, come on, get off me, another second to kind of get the flavors out. I don't know what I did with like my little owl that was on the stove, where I kind of put all of the Tupperware on, but it's gone. It's not there. All right, last but not least, into the couscous, I'm going to add a couple almonds. See how it goes with the chopping. I normally have my husband kind of like bang these down, but hopefully they're not going to run out. Okay, there we go. Knife is sharp enough. So very rough chop. If you have sliced almonds, that would work perfectly. I at the moment do not. Okay, just add, say it was about 10 almonds. I feel like this just adds to the texture so much to the couscous, because couscous is fairly soft and it reminds me of like mashed potatoes almost, or like slightly lumpy mashed potatoes. And this just gives it like a tiny crunch in there. Oh, it's just so good. So roughly chopped. Okay, that's done. All of this can go right in. Oh yeah, sounds good. Whoa! Tried to show off my cooking skills and that didn't work at all. Damn. Hopefully you got a good giggle out of it though. I usually do that thing, but I think I tried too hard. Adding salt, pepper, see? I can do it. I just got too excited to show it on camera. All right, all of these, I'm actually gonna put them back into here and toss them into the couscous. I turned off my oven. Now I can kind of push this out of the way. And get my plates. Stop. I normally have them ready already next to me, but things have been a little bit chaotic. Okay, turn that off. Actually gonna remove it off the heat, and the chicken should be done. Boom. Ooh, it smells so stinking good. Come on, cooperate. Isn't a live video so fun? You get to see me mess up and throw food around. I mean, it's great. All right, so the chicken is done. Look how pretty it looks. Oh, and it smells so darn good. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna make a ton of noise. I'm gonna plate these. Add a couple onions. Try to make it look nice and pretty. So this would serve 2 people. That's what I'm cooking for. Just me and hubby. He really likes onions too, so he's going to get the majority of these. Boom. Okay. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Using these so I don't burn myself. Okay. Gonna plate the zucchini. Look at these beautiful colors. Like, it just is so delicious. They're on a mission to escape from me. I'm gonna kind of do that. Boom. Again, you can always reinterpret this. Add what ingredients you like. Take away the ingredients you don't like. If you don't want tomatoes in here, you don't need them. If you want to add more zucchini, go right ahead. If you're feeding more than 2 people, double or triple it. If you want leftovers, triple it. That type of thing. So it's all kind of whatever suits your needs, pretty much. Substitute chicken for a different type of poultry. Sure, you can do duck or whatever there is, or something that's not meat at all. It's gonna escape. I'm gonna eat up. Just kind of have fun with cooking. That's the whole point. All right, this is how the couscous looks. Amazing. This will probably be like a grits and eggs breakfast for us tomorrow, since it kind of came out more than I wanted, but that's okay. There's that. Boom. And of course, a little bit of the green onions. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, because they're delicious. Don't forget to get them all over your counter. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see. It is going to be delicious. It smells amazing. So lemony and wonderful. Another thing that I'm going to do, since I have this left over, is just take the fresh lemon juice and squeeze it over the chicken a little bit. Do a couple drops. Add some juice. And a couple drops. Boom. All right, so dinner is done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, the whole shebang. And I'll see you in the next one. And I'm going to end stream, so bye.